We're looking at page 353. We're going to do problems number 2 and 4. So here's number 2. Okay, so we've got 8x plus 5y equals 38. We've got negative 8x plus 2y equals 4. And we're going to solve with elimination. So notice the first thing is we've got x's lined up. We've got y's lined up. Now, that's not always going to happen. Like sometimes you're going to have to do that. But in this case, the x's, the y's, the equals, the constants, they're already lined up. And that's what we need to happen. If they're not lined up that way, then you've got to do the algebra. You can't just pick things up and move them. You've still got to make sure that you are following the algebra rules to get everything in the right place. Now, if I'm looking at this system, and I think everybody can see this, it's the plus 8 and the minus 8 that are going to be able to eliminate one another, right? 5 and 2 won't eliminate, but a plus 8 and a minus 8 will eliminate. And they're going to eliminate, in this case, opposite signs. We're going to add these two equations, right? So if I add 8x plus a minus 8x, that's 0x. Well, 0 times x is just 0, so that just eliminated itself. 5 plus 2 is 7. 38 plus 4 is 42. Now this is an equation that I can solve, right? Divide both sides by 7. Y equals 6. And now that I know what one of them is, we still get to do what we did yesterday in that once I know one variable, I take it back to the top and I plug it in one of the other variables to see what happens. So it doesn't matter which one you choose. I'm going to choose the top one. So 8x plus 5 and y equals 6 equals 38. And so we'll solve here. Okay. Subtracting 30 from both sides. Dividing both sides by 8. X equals 1, y equals 6. And so that would be our solution. Now, we could graph and check, or we can take 1 and 6 and plug them back into both equations and make sure they still work. All right, so let's take a look then at number 4. And so number 4 says, and we've already talked a little bit about A's and B's. If you want to take A's and B's out and make them X's and Y's, that's fine. Just make sure all of the A's are X's and all of the B's are Y's, or whatever variable you want to use. I'm going to leave it as A's and B's just because that's what's in the book, and just to kind of reinforce maybe that we don't have to have A's and B's. We're just solving for two variables. All right, so here we go. Everything is lined up. A's, B's, equals, constants, everything's lined up. Okay, so the question again is, what can I do to make something go away? What can I do to eliminate something, right? So the 6 and 2 are not going to go away, but the minus 3 and the minus 3 can go away. They're the same, and so to make things go away that are the same, right, for this one we would subtract. Now the video that you watched tonight, like, it's going to give us another way that we can do this. There's another one. That's way too much. Shh, focus. The video we look at tonight is going to give us another way to kind of do these. But for now, if I'm going to make the 3's go away, then I've got to subtract. Negative 3 minus a minus 3 eliminates, right? So if I'm using subtraction for one piece, I've got to use subtraction for all the pieces. So 6 minus 2, 4. We've already said the B's eliminated. 27 minus 11 is 16. That's an equation we can solve. A equals 4. Right? A equals 4. Did I do that right? 7 minus 1 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so there we go. So now that I know what A equals, let's go back and plug it into something. It doesn't matter which one you plug it into. You just have to plug it into one of them. I like the fact that this is a smaller thing I've got to multiply by. So let's try the second one there. So 2 times A minus 3b equals 11. So that's going to be 8 minus 3b equals 11. Negative 3b equals 3. And so b equals negative 1. And again, we probably wouldn't put that in coordinate form just because they're not coordinate forms. And so those would be your answers. Now, I'm still going to take that a and b and plug them back into the other equation to make sure it still works, right? So 6 times 4 would be 24. Negative 3 times negative 1 would be positive 3. 24 plus 3 is 27. It works, so it's a solution. Okay, so these are the answers for 8 through 18 even, and as many of them as we need to work. You let me know you didn't get the right answer, and we'll work through it as best we can. Right, so this is number 8.
You added the z's.
And we've got y plus z equals 4.
So you have 2 y.
And y minus z equals 8. All right, so we're going to work this one as a subtraction. So here we go. Y minus y, that eliminated. Plus z minus a minus, 2 z's. All right, so that's z plus z. And then 4 minus 8, negative 4. And then that's what we can solve. Divide both sides by 2, and z equals negative 2. And then once you know what it is, you plug it back into one of the other equations. So y plus a negative 2 equals 4, which means that y equals 6. All right, so here we go, number 10. All right. So we've got 5m minus 2p equals 24. 3m plus 2p equals 24. And so we're going to have to add these two together because that's what's going to make the m's go, the p's go away. So 5 plus 3 is 8 m's. Minus 2 plus 2 eliminated. 24 is 48. That's an equation we can solve. Divide both sides by 8 and m equals 6. Okay? Take that m equals 6 and let's plug it back in. 3 times 6 plus 2 times p equals 24. 18 plus 2p equals 24. 2p equals 6. P equals 3. All right. Number 12. Several of us had questions on 12, so let's look at 12. We've got 6r minus 6t equals 6. We've got 3r minus 6t equals 15. And I'm going to go ahead and throw out here to the side. This one has to be subtracted. Right? Subtracted. Same sign. Right? Negative 6, negative 6. Same sign. Subtract. All right? So 6 minus 3 gives me 3r. Minus 6 minus a minus. So that'd be minus 6 plus 6. That got eliminated. 6 minus 15. Negative 9. Which means that r equals negative 3. And then that plugs back in. 3 times negative 3. I'm going to use that second equation. Minus 6t equals 15. So negative 9 equals minus 6t, 15. Add 9 to both sides. And t equals negative 4. And again, I'm not going to give you numbers that aren't x and y. But when I do, we probably want to make sure we pull the answers out there to the side. All right, number 18. 18 was one of those that come up with an interesting answer. So here we go. 6x minus 2y equals 1. 10x minus 2y equals 5. Now, Addie, here's the thing I'm going to say real quick. Same sign.
You subtract.
Right, same sign subtracts.
Cancels out.
Okay.
So
So,
you take the 10 away from the 6.
so 6 minus 10 is negative 4. Minus 2, minus a minus, that disappeared. 1 minus 5 is minus 4. So x equals 1. Plug it back in.
I added the 5 and the 1.
Gotcha. 6 times 1 minus 2y equals 1. Okay. And so y equals 5 halves, which I think I gave the answer as 2.5.